This is a video answer key for the 4L and 4M practice quiz, and we are multiplying and dividing fractions in this practice quiz. So when I multiply fractions, I multiply numerator to numerator and denominator to denominator. So in this first situation, it's 1 times 1 over 5 times 3. I can't do any cross simplifying, so 1 times 1 is 1, 5 times 3 is 15. This can't be reduced, so my answer is 1/15. On to number 2. We've got 3 times 5 over 5 times 6. I see here that 6 and 3 can both be divided by 3, so I do that. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now if you don't do this step, you can still get the right answer. You'll just have to do a little more reducing at the end. So if this is confusing, you can kind of skip this. This makes your work easier because you have smaller numbers to deal with. All right, and then this is 5 and 5. Both of those, of course, divide by 5. So that's 1 and that's 1 because 5 divided by 5 is 1. So what I'm left with now is 1 times 1 over 1 times 2. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. So this is 1/2. All right, on my next one, I have a whole number. We always make whole numbers fractions by putting a 1 underneath them. And so we've got the problem here, 6 times 1 over 1 times 12. I see right here that 6 and 12 could both divide by 6. So 6 divided by 6 is 1, 12 divided by 6 is 2. Now I'm left with 1 times 1 over 1 times 2. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2. So again, our answer here is 1/2. Now I'm on to a mixed number. So I've got these mixed numbers here. I need to change those into improper fractions. I do that by taking the whole number times the denominator, so 2 times 5 is 10, and then I add in that numerator. 10 plus 1 is 11, so this is 11 over 5. 11/5 is equal to 2 and 1/5. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13, so this is 13/4. Okay. Now I'm at 11. Check to see if I can cross simplify, and I can't. 11 times 13 is 143. I worked that out ahead of time. 5 times 4 is 20. I've got an improper fraction here, so I need to change that to a mixed number by taking the numerator 143 and dividing by the denominator 20. 20 doesn't go into 1. 20 doesn't go into 14, but 20 will go into 143 7 times because 7 times 20 is 140. I do my subtraction and I get 3 left over. Remember that this is our whole number, this is our denominator, and the leftover part is our numerator. So this is equal to 7 and 3/20. 7 and 3/20 is the same amount as 143 over 20. All right, now I'm on to dividing. For dividing, remember, we're going to keep the first fraction the same. We're going to change the operation. So this is a keep, this is a change, and then we're going to flip. So we change division to multiplication, and then we flip. So it's keep, change, flip, keep, change, flip. We don't do any simplifying until we've done the keep, change, flip. With dividing fractions, the very first thing you want to do, unless it's a mixed number, you want to keep, change, flip. You want to make that flip first. All right, so I see that I've got 1 times 3 over 3 times 2, and I see that both of these 3's can divide by 3, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. So I'm left with 1 times 1 over 1 times 2, and again, that equals 1/2. So for the third time, I've gotten the answer 1/2. All right, now this one, 5/9 divided by 5/9. You might realize that anytime you divide a number by itself, it's equal to 1. Or, remember, we're going to keep the first fraction. So we're going to keep, change, flip. We're going to change to multiplication, and we're going to flip the second fraction. And you can see that we've got 5 times 9 over 9 times 5. And when we simplify that, both the 9's can be divided by 9 to get 1, and both 5's can be divided by 5 to get 1. And so we're just left with 1 times 1 over 1 times 1. Of course, that's 1 over 1, which equals 1. So you may not have had to do this work. You might have noticed right off the bat that that was equal to 1. All right, now, as with multiplying, with dividing, we have to change our mixed numbers into improper fractions before we can move on. And we've got to do that before we do the keep, change, flip. So 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. So this is equal to 17/8. And then, of course, we want to make this 4 over 1. Now we can keep, change, flip. So this is going to be 17 over 8 times 1 over 4. We look for places to cross simplify, and there aren't any. So this becomes 17 times 1 over 8 times 4. And 17 times 1 is 17, and 8 times 4 is 32. I cannot simplify that at all, so my answer is 17 over 32. All right, our last problem here, 3 1/6 divided by 1 2/3. Again, change these mixed numbers into improper fractions. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19, 19 over 6. Still divided by 1 times 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5, so that's 5/3. Now keep, change, flip. So keep, change, flip. So this is going to be 19 over 6 times 3 over 5. And so now we've got 19 times 3 over 6 times 5. I see that the 3 and the 6 can both divide by 3. And I get 19 over 10, which is, of course is an improper fraction. And so we take our 19 and divide it by 10. It goes in one time with 9 left over. Whole number, numerator, denominator. So this is 1 9/10. Now for the bonus down here. I'm going to change all of these to decimals to be able to compare them. But when I write my numbers here, I'm going to write these numbers that I was given. So I know from our previous work that 1/3 is 0.3 repeating. I know that this would be 3.6 repeating. This one's already a decimal. I know that 6 divides into 15 2 times. I'm changing this improper fraction to a mixed number with that'd be 12, 3, 6 left over, which is 2 1/2, or 2.5. All right, and then 3 is already a decimal number, and then 2/3 is 0.6 repeating. So now this reminds me to go least to greatest. I'm looking for the smallest number here, and I think that it's 0.3 repeating. So I put 1/3 here, not 0.3 repeating. Got that one taken care of. Then I need the next number up, which looks like 0.6 repeating, which is 2/3. Got that one taken care of. Next number up would be 0.9. Now this was given to us as 0.9, so that's what we write. Next up would be the 2.5 that was given to us as 15/6. That's what we write. And then finally we've got 3, that's the way it was given to us, and then 3 2/3. So that's putting those in order, those rational numbers in order from least to greatest. All right, that's your quiz. That's your practice quiz. We'll be taking our quiz very soon in class. So make sure that you get this done.